Yo, what's going on, America? This is your boy Prime, and it's about that time. Now, got a few things I want to talk about today. Okay, well, got one topic that I know most drivers have always had some ideal about what the future holds when it comes to this. Like, for example, when it comes to Lyft and Uber and all these different companies trying to come out with artificial intelligence as far as, self-driving vehicles. Now, Lyft claims, and I want to make sure that people understand, I do not work for Lyft, okay? But Lyft claims that humans, meaning you, it's funny that they use the word humans, but humans will not lose their jobs because of self-driving vehicles. Now, this report comes from the Lyft VP of product, who basically says that, in a nutshell, that it will be other services that will be available, like other jobs for drivers. Like, drivers will no longer be drivers. They'll be more like a technician almost, or something. Like, basically, let me go to that part right there where it says, let's see. So it says here that, basically they foresee the future where drivers may help to remote operate up to 10 cars in some capacities. Those same drivers may also be able to offer what she calls value-added services that could perform in additional and remotely operating Lyft cars, such as offering assistance to Lyft riders who are young, older, or have special needs. While the transition be entirely smooth, or current Lyft drivers who choose to stay on and step up to their new duties may or may be not. But the message from Lyft is clear. Drivers have a future with the company if they want it. So basically what they're trying to say here is that they're not once they get this technology developed, they're not going to fire you. They're still going to need you. Now, do I believe that 100% entirely? I really don't, because I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. It's hard to believe that, that they would pretty much replace you, but still keep you on board. I think the cost of all of that is a lot, because explain how would a driver get paid then? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, if I'm remotely, doing my thing with these cars, I got 10 cars. Do I get paid for every single fare like I normally would off of 10 different vehicles? That would be great and all, because you can actually pretty much remotely do this from home. You don't even have to be in the car. Now, it sounds great and all when you think about it that way, but they don't really give you detail on how that will work. They kind of said that the transition may not be entirely that smooth. Okay, that kind of like a rough edge, comment right there, because to me, what do you mean? Like, how is it not going to be smooth if you invest in these cars? They do what they're supposed to do. You have people that remotely drive the cars, okay? I mean, because it sounds like to me these artificial intelligent vehicles will, the ones that Waymo and Uber was working on, seem like they just pretty much drive themselves. It sounds like here that it's gonna be like a remote control car. You know what I'm saying? And drivers actually get to drive the car remotely now, which sounds great if a kid at heart, I guess. But from a job and financial aspect of it, you kind of wonder how you're going to get paid. You know, are you going to get paid off of 10 vehicles that you remote access to? You know, so I mean, it's a lot of unanswered questions, and they really don't go into detail about this. I found this on Yahoo.com. So, you know, they say the industry, you know, it says in January 2006, the World Economic Forum released a report predicting artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other technologies will spur or so-called fourth industry revolution that replaced 1.5 million jobs by 2012. I'm sorry, 2020, right? According to reports, jobs across every industry in every geographic region in 15 of the world's largest economies, Australia, Brazil, China, Japan, the UK, the United States, among others, will somehow be affected. So this is coming from the World Economic Forum, which basically is saying that at some point by 2020, 5.1 million jobs are going to be affected by some sort of artificial intelligence. Meaning, it don't have to be Rideshare. We could be talking about factories, you know, like, hey, you know, instead of having factory workers, we got this artificial intelligence machine that just do the work. Don't even need people to do anything anymore. Now, is that the same with them? Or, you know, is they going to have somebody remotely making sure these machines are doing what they're supposed to do? I don't think so. Not likely, right? So it's kind of a, you know, like, and this is the same thing that was repeated by, I forget his name right now, but one of the CEOs for Lyft. Not Green, but the other one. I think he's the main guy anyway. But anyways, he actually said on, like, I seen him on Trevor Noah's show, which is the Daily Show. And Trevor Noah actually asked him, hey, you know, basically, is this going to replace drivers? And he basically said the same thing, that it's going to be other services available. He said he imagined that there will be other services available, you know, in the car, basically. Like, you know, like, he didn't really go into detail. Now, I can understand if they say, okay, well, you know, when we have, like, you know, for example, airport runs, you know, it'll be somebody in the car that will basically load the luggage. Typically, that would be you anyway as a driver. So if you sit in the passenger seat, or actually in this case, you sit in the driver's seat still, and you're not driving, but you're just there. You know, you're there for assistance. You're there to take over if need be. But when they say remote, it's a whole different animal. It's more so like, okay, remote means you could be sitting at home doing this. And when they say up to 10 different vehicles in some capacity, that tells me, you know, that you're not going to be sitting in one car. You're going to be, there's no way you can remote do 10 cars in a car. You need to be sitting at a desk somewhere, at an office somewhere, doing this. So at the end of the day, basically what I'm telling you guys is that it's very unclear what they mean when they say there's going to be additional services, that they imagine it's going to be additional services that will be provided in that ride. Okay, like, I just don't understand, like, what they mean. They're not being really clear with it, and it's probably a good business tactic by Lyft, because they have always been the rideshare company that has always been known to be, you know, fair and honest with their drivers. But in this case, I don't think they're being very fair. And coming from me, it means a lot, because I have always been pro Lyft, so to speak. So with that being said, I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think I call bull. I don't like, you know, the fact that they're throwing out don't worry, drivers, you're still gonna have a job when it's all said and done. So like, comment, subscribe. It's probably over here somewhere. Like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, okay? And let me know what you guys think about that, because I really want to know, because it's kind of dear to my heart, because I like doing rideshare and I want to know exactly what this means at some point. Okay, so with that being said, that's all I got for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.